back this week. We're to Growing Concerns. We're down here at Feeding the 5K, down at the level in Brighton. I've just met Barbara and Carol. It was something that wears. What do you reckon on this today? I mean, what brought you here and how did you know and what do you think?
Well, for a start, the food is absolutely scummy. I mean, it's a wet day, but it's warm food, it's lovely spicy curry, and I think it's probably quite good for you because it seems to be vegetarian, for sure.
I think it's vegan, actually.
Vegan?
Yeah.
Better. All good stuff, yeah.
I found it quite tasty myself. I'm kind of like tempted to go back for seconds, and judging by that massive pot behind us, there's going to be plenty to go around. What do you reckon?
I reckon it's delicious.
Yeah.
It's really good atmosphere, very interesting project.
Actually, you know, if we didn't waste so much food, we wouldn't have to buy so much food, we wouldn't have to grow so much food, and we could use maybe those resources in better ways.
I think so too. I mean, a lot of people throw stuff away a bit too quick.
Yeah.
When actually, you know, you could use that a bit again, you know.
Yeah.
Or if you actually do a few different recipes, you've got a bit more things to do. We're back here again with Nick Mole from Pesticide Action Network UK. And we're just going to have a quick chat to Ken to see how long he's been here. How long have you been here, Ken?
I've been here since 5 o'clock this morning. We probably started cooking about 6:30. We've done loads of puree. I've done a pot like that, puree rolled it all out, and now we're frying off this. It's going fast and we can cook it now.
And it's very tasty too. You're doing great work. Good work. Hi Nick.
Hello, how are you, Malcolm?
Yeah, very good. Very good. Good to see you again.
Yeah,
Didn't get back to you quite as soon as I was hoping, but we got you now.
Such is life, yeah. What a great occasion to talk about these things.
How many stations have been there?
There are, literally. And on a rainy, what day is it today?
Thursday.
Rainy Thursday afternoon in Brighton.
And then through the magic of TV, you'll be seeing it on a Sunday. So yeah. So yeah, like, interesting things, because obviously there's a lot of hungry people out there and people are getting fed. But then there's the other interesting thing, Mr. Pesticide Action Network UK, and the food things. Now, we touched on things last time about bread.
Yeah.
Now, in the bread thing, you're saying that a good percentage of it is got pesticide in it.
Well, that's right. It's, I mean, it's not just bread, it's all the food we eat. A lot of the food we eat, because of course it's grown using pesticides and other chemical inputs as well. Now they don't just disappear after the food is harvested or processed. But some of them will remain within the stuff we're eating.
And they stay in the food, they're in the food.
Exactly, so they're in the food we eat. So roughly of all the food that's available to buy in your shops, your supermarkets, your corner store, wherever it happens to be, about 40% will have one or more pesticide residues within it. So unless you eat,
It's surprising.
I mean, unless you eat 100% organic diet, which is not an easy thing to achieve, you will be eating pesticides. Your children will be eating pesticides, and it will be going into your system. Every single one of us, because of the way pesticides work, they're persistent in the environment. So DDT, for example, which was banned 30 years ago, every single one of us, every single person
has got it in their body.
Right. Even if
completely unnatural.
Even if you were born after it had stopped being used.
It's shocking.
Polar bears have it in them.
Right.
There's not a lot of agriculture up in the Arctic.
No.
So it's
So basically it's in the food chain.
And it's in the food chain, but it's in the food that we eat. 40% of the food that we eat has got pesticides.
It's shocking, because what goes through is that, I think we said it last time to you guys here, is what people now call organic is what our grandparents used to call food.
That's right, yeah. I mean, so the food that is grown with pesticides and chemical fertilisers and all the other stuff that they put, that's referred to as conventional.
Right.
But really, it's not, is it?
It is the freaky chemical-laden food. Because I think we were saying before, is a lot of people go, oh well, why buy organic? It's a bit expensive, why not buy the cheap stuff? But my angle is, and I think we're probably going to be on the same thing, is instead of buying good food, buy cheap stuff with cancer poisons and chemicals and pesticides in it.
Well, this is what's happening.
And that's more like kind of the way people should be thinking about it, is mine.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to switch to an all organic diet. Not all the foods that we eat are as likely to have pesticides in them as some of the others. So there are certain things.
What's the
apples, grapes, pears, and some mixed leaf salads. In fact, you can find out a list of, sort of the 10 worst offenders on the Pan UK website. And
Pan UK?
So there, if
Be
you
around here on the street somewhere, yeah.
So, if you are concerned, then, consider switching those ones out of your diet. Certainly consider switching them away. If your kids eat lots of apples, go for organic apples. If they eat
Yeah, but
strawberries.
can you rinse it off? I've read a thing about putting them in vinegar and all that, or is it actually in the apple?
It's in the apple. It's in
So it's not a surface.
Sometimes it is, but
Yeah,
most
that's right.
of all it's not. I mean, the UK government did some testing on chip shop chips.
Yeah.
Now, a good chip is going to be washed.
I love a good chip.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? So, a good chip is going to be washed, it's going to be peeled, ideally it's going to be fried twice, if not 3 times. Foodies out there.
Foodies.
But they found that the finished article, the finished chip, had the same amount of pesticide residues as the raw potato. So it is debatable. And probably washing will not get rid of pesticides. It might get rid of some of the rotten earth.
Well, that's the thing. It's a difference between like a surface pesticide and a systemic pesticide. Because when you've got a systemic pesticide, it's gone right through the system of the plant.
That's right, more and more of them are systemic these days. And the problem with pesticide residues on food, of course, is you can't see them, you can't smell them, you can't taste them.
It's the invisible enemy.
So you can't go and say, I'll have that apple because that hasn't got any on, I won't have that apple. You've no idea. And we have no choice in this. So we can't make an informed decision. We have to ingest these chemicals.
So completely blindsided.
And of course, the issue is, you're not going to drop down dead from eating an apple that's got some pesticide residues on it. But what we don't know, and what we're seeing more research is showing, that sort of continued ingestion of very low levels can have long-term effects, much higher problem, and problems being caused related to this. And we don't know.
So you see all sorts of things about cancer, things affecting your endocrine system.
That's right.
And there's loads of kind of run-on things. And
not to be too alarmist, children are most susceptible because their bodies are still growing and developing. So these things can interact with their hormonal systems,
their development,
the whole thing, and cause problems later down the line in life. So it's a big experiment. And nobody really knows. And we're the guinea pigs.
We are the field study.
And against our will. I mean, if you ask anybody, do you want to eat these pesticides? What are they going to say? They're going to say no, thank you.
But what gets me most is when I chat to like people like yourselves, and like you said, I mean not you, you're a bit more informed, but you talk to people about what's going on with these things, and the general response would be like, oh, they won't do that, they won't be allowed.
Well, this is it.
Well, actually, they are allowed.
And also we get assurances from the government that everything's safe, everything's wonderful, but not necessarily.
It ain't necessarily so.
No, exactly. And we need to change the farming system somewhat. We need to start thinking about growing food without chemicals. Let's move away from that. Should be the top line thinking from DEFRA government ministers, because the only way
integrated pest management, move away from the chemicals, companion planting, and not go for big monocultures, actually having a lot more diversity, healthier plants, healthier diversity, healthy wildlife.
But without the political will, it will never be achieved, and there is none. There is no leadership from DEFRA, there's no leadership from the Ministry of the Environment, there's no leadership from the National Farmers Union.
So
status quo, chemical pesticides. So it comes down to us as consumers to say to our supermarkets, say to the people who buy food, we want things to change. And actually retailers can do some. We've worked with some of the bigger ones to talk about pesticides, and they've got rid of pesticides out of their supply chain, global supply chains, not just in the UK. Pesticides that are legal but are hazardous, so because they're concerned.
Hazardous materials.
And so let's not forget, consumers can wield a lot of power, but you need to get up, you need to write, you need to tell them what you want and what you think.
Look at what happened with the tax credits this week. So that's the point. If it comes down to organisations, activism, protests and journalists to change the public mind, to change what's going on, so be it.
That's it.
We have to do it. And then when the petitions and all make it to Parliament, then the legislation gets changed.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only way forward. So people power. We need to show. We vote for these people. Let's never know that.
Yeah. Every 5 years you vote for your sales rep. Make sure they do what you want. I've got to say it, but very good. Now, if people want to learn more, they go on your website.
I've got one last thing. If I may. So we're running. This is Brighton over at the Feeding the 5,000.
Yeah, at the level.
We're running a campaign to make Brighton the first pesticide-free city in the UK. So not on our streets, playgrounds, schools. This is our new leaflet.
No poisoning of our streets, thank you very much.
This is our new leaflet. Wonderful, multicolored. We've got a whole range of different materials. We've got a government petition that we'd like to get signatures for.
Get it signed.
We get 10,000 of them. Government has to respond. We get 100,000. We can debate it in Parliament. So it's all on our website. It's all on www.paduk.org.
There you
So
go.
come along, help us out. Thank you.
Yeah. Pleasure as ever, Nick.
Thank you, Malcolm. It was a pleasure. I'll see you again.
See you next time for an update.
Brilliant.
Catch you in a bit. We've had a little look at Feeding the 5,000 down at the level in Brighton. Last week, went and saw Dave Goulson, friend of the show, from the Butterfly Conservation Trust, doing a talk with the Brighton and Hove Organic Gardeners. Let's have a little look. So, hi. Just here tonight at the conference room of the community base.
Base, indeed.
With Dave Goulson again, which
Hello.
is cool. Yeah. So tonight we've had a great talk on bumblebees, and
Bumblebees, why they're important, and the fact that some of them are disappearing, which is kind of worrying.
A good few of them are disappearing.
Yeah, and but then what can you do? What can we all do to help? Sure. And there are lots of things we can all do to help, which is good because a lot of these conservation stories are a bit doom and gloom, aren't they? But
sure. But there is a lot of positive aspects to it, and there are some happy, successful stories.
There are,
and they're doing some great things. I tell you what, you came out with some great ditties tonight. I mean, the few things which can stick in my mind is that any bumblebee, any given time, on a full tank and a full belly, is 40 minutes away from having an empty belly, and
and then it's basically she's got no energy. She can't fly. If a bee can't fly, she's in big trouble because can't get to flowers. So they're kind of they spend their whole life on a knife edge of starvation. And
is it like racing a 40-minute race against time?
Yep.
Yeah. No, so is it true about they've got to be above a certain temperature, like is it 32 degrees or something like that?
So
to
they
get airborne.
Yeah, because they need to be warm enough to flap their wings fast enough,
right?
And the muscles won't contract fast enough if they're cold.
But they warming up before you exercise.
Exactly. So they kind of rev up, and get the engine warm before they.
So they've got to create the buzz before the whole world take flight. No, that's really good. Yeah, I can't help it. So but that's a real interesting little ditty. Yes. And what's the other little ditty? What's the other one? And then of course there's not just one bumblebee. There was to the lay observer. All of a sudden, like bumblebees are bumblebees, but it's the tufty tail, great tufty tail.
The buff tail.
The buff tail.
That's one of many. So most people have never bothered. If you actually stop and look, not this time of year because they're all pretty much gone for the year. But wait till the spring. Find yourself a little patch of bee flowers or whatever, some lavender or whatever.
Yeah, got one at home.
Sit down next to it and watch.
Yeah.
You see straight away that there are different species there. There are ones that are all brown, there are ones with yellow and black stripes, and ones with red bottoms. And most people have never stopped to look, which I find astonishing. Even keen gardeners, they spend their whole life in the garden, weeding and planting beautiful flowers.
amongst it.
They just never actually stop to look at these bees that are all around them. And so there's about 25 different types.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking now. I've still got them buzzing around my mullein at home. Yeah, which is the old kind of what used to be called traditionally for firebrands for making torches in lynch mobs and stuff. But it's about kind of 7 foot tall, big golden fronds on it and all that, and they're still kind of like you say, one's buzzing around. But then there was a bit of a hard luck story because apparently all the queens now have gone to ground. Mm-hmm. And it's just some dudes hanging around which have missed their chance. Or they might have had a bit of a boisterous lifestyle.
They might have done if they were very lucky. So this time of year is a bit dismal because you've got these poor old male bees that they're probably a couple of months old, which is pretty old if you're a bee. And the girls have all gone for the year. Basically,
the buzz is fading.
The buzz has definitely faded. The nightclubs shut up. They've got a hangover.
That's it.
And basically just waiting to die, which is kind of sad. But those young queens are underground waiting for next spring. So.
Ready to revive the whole scene again. So there are two things that other came out, which people at home can get involved in. One was the Buzz Club. Mm-hmm. Well, now this is more about what people can do to help the bumblebees. So, and one of them was citizen science or community science, or people getting into it, getting involved in the science,
helping us find out what's happening, which species are where, how many species of pollinators, not just bumblebees, but pollinators, all these other things, hoverflies and other species of bee that they've got in their gardens.
Sure.
Because the more we know about them, the better chance we've got of looking after them.
Sure.
Basically, is what it boils down.
Sure.
And also, it's a good
race
fun
between education and catastrophe again.
Something like that.
Come
Yeah,
on.
that's nicely put.
Sure. 2 seconds. Sorry, can you not do that when I'm interviewing, please? Just give it like 2-3 minutes.
I didn't see
I'm
that.
actually recording.
Sorry, I came from behind you.
It's okay. Can I finish my interview, please? Can I just finish my interview without tearing up stuff in shot? Sorry.
Pluckable.
Yeah. So the buzz. Well, perhaps I'll do from where we was talking about the Buzz Club. Then I can do a cutaway and we come back in. Okay. So the Buzz Club is a community science thing.
Yeah, just trying to get people involved in helping us find out more about what's going on with our pollinators, not just bees, not just bumblebees, but other bees, hoverflies, and so on. Because the more we know about what species are living where, what are in people's gardens, and how their numbers are changing over time, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
The more we can do to help them.
So that's more of like it's a race between education and catastrophe. Where basically, once people know and have got the knowledge, people know how to move forward. But obviously, if people don't know, they just don't know.
It's also kind of fun, little science projects that kids can join in and that kind of thing. So they won't just learn about bees, but they might actually learn a little bit about science, which might sound dull, but it's fun.
No, it's interesting. It beats kind of just hanging around the shopping mall all day.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's fun for all the family.
Indeed.
So that'd be Buzz Club. That's
the Buzz Club
up at the uni.
It's based at Sussex Uni. There's a big gang of us. It's a not-for-profit kind of charitable thing. We're running on a shoestring, and we're trying to get people all around the country joining us to help us find out more about.
So the call to action again for you folks at home for Buzz Club. They just do a search for Buzz Club.
Look on the internet. Yeah, Google us.
It's on the FaceTube interweb.
thebuzzclub.uk.
There you go. No, but that isn't your main hat tonight, was it? The main hat tonight was
lots of hats.
Yeah, lots of hats. Me too. I got.
You can find one you're sporting.
Yeah, a bit of it. It's still grubby from the garden today. So. The main one was the Bee Conservation Trust,
Bumblebee Conservation Trust. Yeah.
And is that your fault?
I am to blame. Yeah.
Good man.
Started it. It's nearly a decade ago, 2006.
Right.
And it seemed like there's charities for birds and butterflies, and why not bumblebees? So we started it. It's got 8,500 members around the UK, and a few abroad as well.
Right.
And it's doing loads of great
Popular
things.
and ever growing.
Indeed. It's involved in all sorts of, planting flowers for bees and encouraging people to do their bit. That's another thing. If you're interested, sign up.
So if they want to know about it, where would they sign up?
It's got a lovely, slick website with sign up. You can sign up online. Just Google Bumblebee Conservation Trust, and you'll find it very easily.
There you go. And we've just found Ruth from the Boggers.
Hello.
Hello. So apparently you helped. You kind of organised tonight.
Well, it was me and Sally, and Sally's actually a member of Bog as well.
Sure.
And we did it together because what a really big part of Bog is promoting wildlife-friendly garden.
Of course.
It's a huge part of what we're all about because obviously we don't use toxins, and obviously we're really into biodiversity. So we're always trying to grow.
We should all be into biodiversity.
We absolutely. But we try and create habitats in our gardens and allotments, and just grow flowers that will last the whole year round, and grow a really broad range of stuff, so that hopefully there's going to be lots of food to attract.
People can be joining in all the time.
Absolutely.
Cut into the chase about it. What's the record tonight?
It was fantastic.
I mean, it was jammed in here tonight. It was jammed.
It was jammed. It was very popular. I'm so pleased because
we do it again.
We had I did ask him, didn't I, towards the end, would you be prepared? And
he's very good.
He is good, and he's got a variety of kind of venues in. But because I'm an ecologist, I was trained in ecology. ecology before anybody had ever heard of it.
So he was a trailblazer, Rick. He
And,
was a trailblazer.
and I was just so excited when I read his book, because I mean he's basically doing the same thing that Rachel Carson did 50 years ago.
Yeah, well, she was the icebreaker.
She was the icebreaker. She was what woke them up.
Viewers at home know that in the last interview I did with him, we talked quite a lot about how Rachel Carson was a part of the equivalent, excuse me, the equivalent of the English DEFRA, but in America, the Food and Fisheries. And then when she saw the effect of what was going on, she took a lot of flack for breaking the ground. Now, apparently, Seedy Sunday kind of like grew out.
It did spring from bog.
Of boggers.
It sprung from bog.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were original platform.
Yeah. So we're now going to start organising this next year's one. First Sunday of every February, Seedy Sunday at the Dome. Coming soon. Just bumped into Duncan as we're leaving the 5,000 on the level in Brighton. Duncan, he's like a big kind of instigator in the bike chain event.
Oh yes,
and now,
T-shirt.
I've heard a rumour that something's happening, something to do with Paris, something to do with the Paris Climate Conference.
The Paris Climate Talks are in December. Very important talks, world leaders from all over the place, but just as important, tens of thousands of people are getting there to push the message that we absolutely need more urgent action on climate change.